What's good, everybody? You are now in the mix. This your big dog Kid 6, Chi-Town's finest, Carlton, your dig, and your girl Leah, aka the therapist. This is episode 96, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and your girl so effing classy, aka so effing crafty, so effing glassy is back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We miss you. We miss you.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna add that in the intro for you too. That's gonna be dedicated just for you. Just for you, man. Listen, episode 96, y'all. 4 more episodes away from our 100th episode. We got something special coming up for y'all, man. We want to do it for the Mixxeners. This is for y'all because we've been appreciating the support from the subscriptions to Apple, Spotify, as well as our YouTube. Continue to spread the word to get in the mix, man. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to the sponsors, Wine O'Clock, as well as Rich King Brand. Did you enjoy the drink that she made, or you ain't tasted it?
Oh, I didn't taste it yet.
What you
It's
say?
in the fridge.
Saving it?
Yeah, I'm saving it. I was actually supposed to bring it over the weekend, but I got it.
Oh, what'd you do over the weekend?
I went to Canada.
Oh yeah? How was it?
It was great.
Yeah?
I know that's home though.
Is it home?
Yes.
How often do you go back?
I'll be back next month.
No, I said how often do you go back?
I'm missing it. Is this really asking me?
Yeah, how often do you go to? That's home, right? So how often do you go back
Right,
home?
I was just there. I was there in April. This month, I'm back next month.
Hey, why do you
Yeah.
feel like
Oh, because you know you trying to get me with stuff, so I don't be knowing with you. Like, yo, it's really asking me.
You be nervous? Man, don't be so nervous. Stand 10 toes down, man. You what? You a proud Jamaican, Canadian?
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore County.
Baltimore County,
All three.
PWY.
Right, fuck you talking about.
What is this? There is nothing on your shirt.
Actually, yes,
represents PWY.
it don't. But I got my
What does that say?
license.
PW.
No,
What's that say?
that's my
LGBT?
license.
Oh.
LCPC.
Oh, LGBT.
Established when's the year?
Oh, okay.
LBC, Long Beach.
This is my license. So my PW, I afforded this. So
Okay.
that's what made you point to my shirt.
Oh, all right. Shout out to you.
How y'all doing? How was y'all weekend?
Very chill.
Very
Just
chill.
how I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Had a fun game night. Other than that, it was good.
Okay.
You know, keeping my weekends very chill now.
You said that last week. You ain't drinking.
Yeah,
You
it feels
until
good.
next
You
month,
know,
Next month.
niggas in the gym, going hard. Feel
always
me?
in the gym.
Huh?
You always in the gym.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Just gotta stay toned up year round, not just for the summer.
I hear that.
Feel me?
Yeah.
You know that they say summer bodies is made in the winter, but summer bodies is kept all year round. So
Yeah.
you gotta go hard all year round.
That's how, bro. That's how we doing it, man. Those some fresh glasses, man.
Oh yeah, you know these is Lucky 1020.
Okay.
Right.
You know, shout out to Lucky 1020.
Shout out to Benny, man. Yo, we gotta get Benny the Butcher back on here.
Benny the Butcher's coming.
Benny the Butcher.
You asked the nigga at that
I
party.
said the
Oh,
nigga,
yeah,
I
I
said
missed
the
that
nigga.
party. Yeah, you know I love it. I love that
She
tag.
knows little certain ad-libs.
But at least she know Benny. A lot of people don't be knowing
Of
Benny.
course,
Right,
I know.
right.
But yeah, I know
Respect
the
Benny
whole
like that.
Griselda. Come on. Well, I was gonna say who doesn't, but there's a lot of people that don't. So.
Spit one of his verses.
Bro, I can't spit a verse.
Oh, we know.
But I can
Oh,
spit
we
an
know.
ad-lib.
Oh, we
I can
know.
shut up. I can spit it. Yeah, how many girls know Benny?
Okay.
So come on, like you said, right?
How many Nas stands know a Nas verse? I mean,
I
no,
mean,
anywho.
probably.
Here's a few. Anyhow.
It's a few. It is a motherfucking few. Listen, man, y'all know what we got wrapped up for you guys tonight. So we got what you mixing up, and then we have our roundtable mix question of the day.
Yeah.
So what is the question of the day? Like, how would we?
So
word
I mean,
this?
I feel like we're gonna talk about it and what you mixing up, but we
Right.
heard about Mystical
Mhm.
and you get
Help the
charge-
bell.
charges for one of the charges. He had a couple of charges, but one of the charges was for rape. And for what we know, this is the third time.
Mhm.
I mean, he was initially booked, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, back in 2004 and served 6 years
Yeah.
in prison for this. So I'm like, all right, we scrutinize and not, okay, let me, disclaimer. What we know what he did is absolutely wrong. So I just want to put that out there for people to start coming for me. But I feel like if we see like repeated offenses, do we as a community like step in? And I mean, just think of like people that we know just generally that may have a problem, whether it's like addiction, this could be a form of addiction, who knows? And how do we as a community kind of step in, intervene? I mean, you dropped something in the group just a couple hours ago that was an example of that, you know, so it sparked a good, I should say, debate.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have a good discussion for y'all tonight. It could be some back and forth going on. There might be some.
I don't think it's back and forth because I agree with you. I'm just looking at it. I'm extending it. So I'm acknowledging all of what it is. But what do we do? Like, is there a way to step in so these things don't happen? That's really what my question is about.
But what if they did? That's the looming question, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, what if they did? Right.
We'll get into that tonight.
Yeah.
But first,
questions need answers. I got some answers to some of these questions.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on, man. Listen, we ain't gonna bring y'all a dope ass episode without some informative information brought to you by yours truly, Chi-Town's finest, Carlton. You dig? Come on, man. That's how we do it. HBCU Breads over here. We cite our sources.
So all my PWI folks,
we cite our
don't
sources.
feel disrespected.
We cite our sources.
How you cite your sources? You use APA format?
We use all of that.
Listen, man.
What's
We
the
use
other
all
one?
of that. You don't even know it.
I know because I use APA.
We shout out HBCUs over here.
I mean, I'm always going to shout out HBCs.
No, you don't. What's the last HBCU you shouted out?
LGBT. Whatever this.
Anybody black gotta reach for HBCUs. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Listen, man, we're gonna jump right into what you're mixing up, and of course, we have to start with sports, NBA news. Of course, man, we lost a legend over the weekend, man. A very impactful legend as well. Bill Russell, 11-time NBA champion. 11-time NBA champion, ladies and gentlemen, with the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, man.
For him to be playing during the era that he was in racist as Boston, to be an 11-time world champion and make it out of there alive, and he was also part of the civil rights movement as well.
For sure.
Yeah, sure. He sat in where I think it was either Malcolm X or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They came somewhere.
It was Malcolm X.
Okay, Malcolm X. Yeah. So yeah, man, he's been around, not just in the NBA world, but also during the civil rights movement, and he's just had an impact on everyone that he's encountered, man. So rest in peace to that legend. There's a lot of players who had a lot of respect for him, and he also had a lot of respect for certain players in their game. Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bean, man.
Had a lot of respect for him.
All of the legends, man.
Hell yeah.
If you call yourself a basketball fan, you got to be a fan of Bill Russell. You got to know about Bill Russell, know what he do. 11 championships in 12 appearances in 13 seasons. He won 8 in a row at one point. He was the first player to be a player and a coach at the same time.
Right.
5-time MVP. He played in the 60s, in case y'all need to know the era that he played in. So imagine doing all of that. You playing, you winning championships, MVP level coaching, and you being a civil rights activist at the same time in Boston.
Right.
That man is a legend, man.
Hell yeah, legendary. R.I.P. to him, man. Sending our condolences out to his friends and family. Moving on to the NFL, man, because this was really the breaking news here, and definitely want to get your take on this. Aaron, so if classy, if you want to add your take onto this. So, ladies and gentlemen, the verdict was in for the NFL suspension for Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson, and the quarterback will be serving only 6 games.
So you already put the stamp on it, or directed the conversation because you used the keyword only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
6 games.
Only 6 games.
You're implying this is not a proper sentence.
Oh, not at all, not at all. Okay. What the NFL shows me is that they truly don't respect women. I'ma just say that. And you actually have women who love the NFL.
Yeah,
right?
I used to.
Now, what Deshaun Watson did, he has a problem. That's somebody.
Yeah.
That's somebody that has a problem.
Right.
He has a problem.
He has a problem.
Now, Houston didn't do a good job at really trying to help him out.
So
all they did was try to
question.
sweep it under the
Okay.
rug.
We'll get to that, but yes.
Well, we'll get into that. But for him to only serve 6 games,
what do you think is appropriate sentence?
he definitely needed to be suspended. I mean, he was out last season just because of everything that was going on. But I also felt as though like he needed to serve another full year.
He just needs to be suspended indefinitely.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, 6 games? Come on now. You suspended an NFL player for a full season for betting on a game.
So,
I understand that that's in the NFL policy. Like, you can't do that. But there are other things in the NFL policy to where it's like, you can't do that.
Let me ask you, was he convicted for anything?
Nope.
All right, so
no, wasn't charged either.
So they really can they really suspend him?
Yep. Again.
Okay.
Just to be short with the answer, but I'm just saying because I mean, for what we know, he wasn't charged or convicted with anything, but we still know exactly what he did. And not only should the NFL punish him harsher than what they're punishing him, they should punish the Texans organization.
Oh hell yeah!
So the community.
And yeah, they all did something wrong.
But
and so
Houston, they got folks that's fucked up down there, so you can't.
Yeah, but
you can't.
For perspective, because he said it's some perspective. I want to give some perspective to the Mixxeners out there. Cardinals wide receiver Deandre Hopkins, he received a 6-game suspension for performance enhancement drug. Deshaun Watson, he was facing over 24 sexual misconduct lawsuits.
24, ladies and gentlemen. 24.
Hey, y'all can't be lying.
He gets 6 games. Josh Gordon was suspended for 78 games by the NFL for smoking weed.
Yup.
He kept getting tested for weed. It kept suspending him more and more and more. 78 games for smoking weed. Deshaun got 6 games. Calvin Ridley was suspended for at least 1 full season, like he just said, for making a bet that his team will win. He lost that bet, by the way. A full season for that. 24 sexual misconduct lawsuits, and he gets 6 games.
6 games.
Vincent Jackson was suspended for 3 games because of unlicensed driving. He gets 6 games, 24. I got to keep reiterating 24 sexual misconduct lawsuits. Plaxico got 4 games for shooting his damn self. Not only did he get 4 games, he went to jail for a year and a day. But horny man got 20. He got 6 games because he's definitely a very horny man. That's not even it. That's not even it. Because Tom Brady got 4 games for maybe being aware that the football may have, the PSI was different. Ray Rice beat his fiance. He got 2 games. Just for perspective, because this is the perspective part that shows you how much they care about women. AP felony child abuse, 6 games. Greg Hardy beat his girlfriend, 10 games, reduced to 4. To 4. Ezekiel Elliott hitting women, 6 games. Kareem Hunt, 2 violent incidents, 8 games. Josh Brown, domestic violence, 6 games. Leonard Little and Dante Stallworth, vehicular homicide, 8 and 16 games, which is damn near full season now. Henry Ruggs, 3rd, DUI resulting in death. No penalty by the NFL as of yet. But horny man got 6 games.
6 games, ladies and gentlemen.
I think yes, I do agree they don't care about women, but I also think does it depend on the football player? How much money is this person bringing in? What position do they play?
I'm glad you asked that because
I think that makes a difference.
I mean, he's a quarterback.
Right?
I don't think the position matters as much, or the star prowess or nothing like that. Because the NFL will protect their own brand. We've seen how they did Ray Rice.
Right.
They gave him 2 games. As soon as the video leaked, they pretty much kicked him out.
Because they already knew about it.
Yeah,
right.
they tried to act like
it was the fact that it got leaked. So now it's just oh shit.
They have to act like they didn't already know about it to the public. That's why Ray Rice was like, y'all niggas suspended me 2 games and y'all seen the video before everybody. But
right.
Yeah.
But to that point that you just made, that we want to talk about money, he just signed a contract, like the biggest contract ever,
like $230 million,
something crazy.
200 of it guaranteed.
And the way that they structured his contract, he's only going to be missing a little bit less than $1 million.
Out of $200 million?
Yeah. So, because you know how the contracts go, it's like the total of the contract is the sum of all of your seasons. So for this one season, they made it so that he would only be getting paid close to $1 million this season, because they kind of knew he was gonna be getting suspended.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not really missing any money by being suspended 6 games, 24 sexual misconduct lawsuits. Wow. He's extremely horny though. The crazy part about it, if you ask me, is that he's suspended 6 games. Week 7, after he played that first game, he gonna need a massage. We already know what he about to do.
And when he returns, he plays the Baltimore Ravens. Matter of fact, y'all better annihilate him.
Listen, man.
Y'all better annihilate him.
Any masseuses in Baltimore.
That's what the NFL should have did, but
don't
he dropped the ball.
let that man book you. Do not get booked by Deshaun. Any masseuses in Baltimore, don't get booked.
I don't know, unless you got some horny ass masseuses out here.
That
That has no problem giving a nigga a happy
Right,
ending.
because out of them 24s, there probably a few hundred that consented to all of this. So, I mean, you know, they might just be some that consented. I'm just saying.
Some might have,
Some
but
might
not
have.
all 24.
Not all 24. I don't think all 24 is lying either. But
Right.
that's not take.
So why you think why you think majority of them consented, but then when we mentioned how the Chris Brown video, you was like, oh, I know all them women wasn't sleeping with
They
him.
probably wasn't. But I just thought a number. It probably wasn't that many. But I'm just saying there probably were some that did consent to and some that did not. I don't think all 24 people. I think there's some truth in that. There's probably some that's lying.
So would you think some of the video women that was in Chris Brown's video gave it up to him?
Yes.
All right, that's cool.
I didn't disagree with that.
Yes, you did.
I said that
We
not
gonna
all.
go back to that
No,
episode.
I know the episode. Just like not all women are hot boxes. That's what I said.
Okay.
That's what I said.
All right.
Okay.
Don't worry.
That video popped up in my memory.
Oh, don't
I
worry.
just
When
seen
we
it.
talk about Nikki later on in this episode, oh, you know I'm on your ass.
You can't be on my ass.
You know
Belief
I'm
is
on
not a
your ass.
fact. It's what you believe.
Oh, but you gonna believe that, but you ain't want to believe Jeezy.
We gonna get into that.
Wait.
Okay, that's my belief though.
On your ass.
You can't
On
be on
your
my
ass.
I ain't
We
saying-
can.
No, because I'm not saying this is not fact. I'm not saying
You
what
was just in the chat.
Yo, I said I believe.
We'll get into it.
Okay.
We'll get into it. Moving on to some news, man. Another black man's life taken by the hands of law enforcement, ladies and gentlemen.
Just skip past
Roderick Brooks, 47-year-old black man, was shot to death by police. Houston
I don't want
police
to put
officers.
no more in these stories.
Yeah,
I know you
hate
have
it.
to, but it's like
hate
I
it.
don't want to.
I'm really tired of it. But guess what he got shot over for?
What now?
Stealing detergent.
I don't know what else to say.
A $1 bottle of detergent.
I don't
You
know
mean
what
to
else
tell me
You got a dollar for a dollar
your day
worth of detergent.
was that bad as a police officer to where you didn't have any traction of anything good that you could have been doing? Somebody could have really been getting hit, robbed, or something else. You want to aggressively assault and murder a black man over a $1 bottle of detergent.
I don't know what else to say.
I truly just don't get it at this point. Like, I really want to know. Like, I really want to sit down. I really want to sit down face to face with a white officer. I wish we knew a white officer. You know what? Next time I see a white officer, I really want to have.
Give him a card.
I really want
mix.
to give him a card and tell him to get in the mix. And I really want to sit down and talk to
But
him.
here's the thing, though. Not
Keep it 1,000.
For
what you
real.
think he gonna tell you?
I
But
don't talk to
that
the white
wasn't me.
officer.
That's good. My Shaggy. That wasn't me.
But guess what? That's your white counterpart.
Sure.
That's your officer.
So you want to
So
say
y'all gonna hold each
accountable? Okay.
Yeah, hold him accountable.
All right, that's fair.
Because that's crazy. It's really like at this point, what is in your job description? How do you really protect those out there? Because as we saw how, you know, the school shooting that took place with those little kids getting killed by that teenager. Law enforcement didn't do shit to run up in there and smoke his ass. You was holding parents back, was ready to kill them.
It was holding other officers back too.
Right, like, so it's just
Going in there.
So what is your purpose here? Like, seriously, what is your purpose here as an officer?
Yeah.
Mixxeners, if you're an officer out there that tunes into it, please help us get in the mix. If you know somebody that's in law enforcement, white officer or anything, just please have them get in the mix with us, because this is insane.
Or black officer who's, you know, subscribe to the same mentality. Get in the mix. It'd be like a Brandon. He would subscribe to that.
Because this is just crazy.
Yeah.
This is really getting out of hand. But
Yeah, R.I.P.
that's in peace, man.
Like we
Rest
say
in
every
peace.
show.
This shit is sad. This shit is sad. But moving on, because this is insane. God don't like ugly. I'm gonna tell you that much. So
So he don't like you?
you're right. He don't like me. He loves me. God loves me. So can't say the same about you though.
He absolutely loves me. But go ahead. Why don't God like ugly?
Because Brooklyn Bishop, because you represent New York as well, right?
Yeah, I do.
Your
I know people's out there. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So you represent BK, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
BK.
for your Brooklyn folks out there, y'all wilding right now.
My Brooklyn
So
folks.
the Brooklyn Bishop was robbed
of
of $1 million in jewelry, allegedly that he stole.
I'm about to say robbed.
From
He was robbed.
Right, he was robbed. It felt. I know that was probably set up, right? Because then to turn around, I think it was like what 90,000 that was stolen.
The story.
Yeah. So
what's fishy about this? What happened? Like you say
$1 million worth of jewelry off this bishop.
Yeah.
So what you doing with the money, bro? We already know what you doing with the money.
What am I doing with the money?
Huh?
What am I doing?
Not you.
Oh, well, the person. I know.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we already know what you're doing with the money, man. We already know when it comes time to giving out money at church. You know, you either taking it, you dishing out a little bit to what needs to go into it, but you taking out, you stashing it. Yup. Yep. Yeah, y'all seen Don't Be a Menace. Y'all seen Don't Be a Menace.
You can get around this side.
Right. So,
I don't know, bro.
Listen,
wild
man.
stories happening every day.
It's really wild.
I don't get
But this is crazy.
It is.
This is crazy. But for you, as a bishop, to try to pull something off like this.
What is this about? Yeah.
You seen his interview?
What he
And
said?
he was calling the big girl, he called her Biggie Smalls. He was going in because he felt that they was like clowning because they like, is this even real? And so he got offended. And he started like going for her looks and going for the other guy because the other guy, I guess, is gay.
Yeah,
And saying, it was just a lot. I was like, so we like, well, that's unchristian, like.
Right.
Like, no
But
matter
I
how
mean-
angry, like.
Man,
So it's like you kind of proving their point a little bit because
You're not acting
really,
in the.
yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Acting
Listen,
accordingly.
I ain't gonna front, man. There are some scheming ass bishops out here. Yo. There are some churches in general that really will
Not
really
all, because I know
scheme.
people being,
Yeah, we're not saying
like,
all,
don't talk
but-
about my
We not
bishop
saying
and pastor
all,
in
but
church.
there are some folks out there who will scheme, and it's sick, bro. Like it's really sick. Like you
Is
use
it?
God's name.
Well,
you
yeah, no,
preach-
that's a sick
Yeah,
part.
like
That's,
you try to preach all this holiness and grace stuff, and then you turn around and it's just like.
He was showing off his closet. He got a huge closet, walk-in closet full of designer shoes.
You know what's all the
He
people
always making the videos in the cars and everything.
and I know your congregation peeped this, so they
That's why
keep
they
giving
poke
they
this
keep
roof
giving
at.
money.
And
so.
did you see the church? No shade. All that money, but that
Church right now?
that background was horrible.
You see what I'm saying?
That background.
Money's supposed to be invested into the church. He invested into his wardrobe.
Yeah. I'm not surprised though. It's just you gotta talk to the believers out there.
Man, listen.
I don't know.
Man. I don't know, man. That's just really insane to me, to be honest with you. That really is insane. But
what's gonna happen though?
not a damn thing.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing gonna happen. They might look at him all crazy, but
Alright, man.
It
It
depends. It depends.
There's a lot of pastors out there got a lot of other stuff going on. They still going faithfully. Pastor Jamal Bryant got how many kids? And his congregation is still there supporting him. So I don't
Look at
know.
what it is. You know how it be with religion.
I know.
Yeah.
So I mean, no disrespect to anybody. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying.
You know how that's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that every now and again, some of the women folks, you get hot, you get bothered, and every now and again you get hot and bothered.
What movie is that from?
Here at the New Rivalry Tree of Life Institution of the Jericho Missionary Baptist Church, Double Rock on the side of the
Are you
road.
trying to get somebody
Did I say
else?
Mount Calvary? Y'all don't help me. Come on now.
Oh, it's on PWI. It's like
There ain't no sight. Ain't no sight.
You really don't know ain't never see Don't Be a Menace?
Please don't be a menace to South Central while you drink your juice.
I have, but I don't remember that part.
How you gonna...
I don't.
Talking about you had a show. Remember that part.
I don't.
I don't think
But I
you
did, deadass, I did see the movie though, for real. I won't talk about that.
$2,000 place you see.
I did, you know, I'll be upfront about movies I didn't see.
Name
I
a
did
scene.
see that, but
Name a scene.
why we gotta go there right now?
Because you always do this to yourself every
No,
single
I
time.
don't. You always put me.
Moving on to some entertainment, man. So, we had a lot of important things going on in this world, right? Last week we were just talking about monkeypox, right?
Right.
You know, we're trying to figure things out. You know, we're trying to figure out about, is it also, you know, these gun laws, right? It's abortion law, right? Women's bodies. So much. Joe, I still want my shit forgiven, alright? Alright? I want my shit
It's so
forgiven.
bad. Matter of fact, Joe about to say get ready. Because September 30th, I think.
Joe could kick rocks.
You gotta pay that.
I can't wait till he out of office, yo. Seriously. Him and Kamala, they ain't been doing shit.
Who? Kamala, who's that?
For real.
Who? We got a vice president?
Man.
Shit.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Anyway, and here we are in August, and we are still talking about this damn Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Let's say it correctly. We, and I'm not saying we as in the mixers in general, we're not talking about it. Will decided to take his ass to do this whole impromptu, whatever the fuck he did, excuse my language, and brought it back to surface. So, Will. So let's restart this and say.
Nah, because there have been some interviews to where some folks have been bringing it up.
I haven't been with
Breakfast Club, I forget who was on there, but they had asked.
But let's just say it really surfaced because Will did this to himself. He brought it back to life.
I mean, at this
Okay.
point, we don't care about the apology. You didn't have to make a 5-minute video at that.
But he's not.
Apologize
I think
to that.
he's doing it or did it because I guess for the questions that were unanswered, and he mentioned that part of it was his trauma is disappointing people. So he felt like he disappointed what he did. And I guess that bothered him in the 3 months, and he felt like he had to speak out with the apologies that he didn't give.
And who cares? People are either going to be happy for you, disappointed with you. People are not here to like you. It's a lot of folks out here who's going to like you. It's a lot of folks out here who's not going to like you. It's a lot of folks out here who's going to be praying for your downfall. It's a lot of folks out here who's going to be praying for you to make it in life. That's just the way the world is. I'm never going to get out here if people are disappointed. If it's not my closest people, because these Hollywood industry folks, they're all fake, right? They mask it and act like they friends, the best of friends and all of that, but behind closed doors, we'll talk the biggest shit about you.
Yeah.
Just like what our regular folks, what we do on the regular.
Right.
We do that, right? But if it's not my closest friends, I owe no one else an apology. I don't care.
Sound like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar was talking about it just like that on his album.
Yeah.
But I guess for Will being in that spotlight and being one of the biggest names in the industry, and he, you know, for the most part for the 30 years had a relatively clean slate.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. All it takes is for, matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned clean slate because it brings me back to The Last Dance, right? Which I just recently watched again last week.
I bring that up?
Yeah, and you know what? Now we're bringing it back up.
Clearly.
And
Okay.
all it took, because Michael Jordan, he had a clean slate.
Mm-hmm.
This hell of a basketball player, scoring titles, defensive player of the year, you know, all-stars, all of this, right? He was doing everything, commercial ads. I mean, everyone loved him. Everybody wanted to be like Mike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until he made a comment, and when it came to politics, he made a certain comment, and a lot of folks did not rock with him about that.
I mean, that's kind of how
And
it
then when he went, when they found out about his gambling addiction, right? He's just a competitive person. Everyone had an issue. So any little thing that Michael Jordan did, because he had that clean slate, it's just like, oh, well, yeah, we have to question him about this. You know, why are you doing this?
we know these people are human. Sometimes we forget because we were talking about this, how us, we put these celebrities on these type of pedestals. They can do no wrong. We know. So
there's
Will
some
Smith
sick,
is
demented people out here.
yes, it is. But I feel like these are people they idolize, and Will's probably one of those people. So this one human act that he did, I think people forget that. So he feels like he has to.
Did they forget he's West Philadelphia, born and raised?
I mean, he's actually long gone from those days.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
So, I mean, I understand why he felt he needed to do it. I just feel like, I guess, to me, I don't think the time in which he did it was kind of like, I feel like he was going to do it, he should have did it then. I don't think he should have did it now.
It's like a
but whatever he
did.
Well, he apologized via Instagram. I feel like he was going to do this video.
I don't think Chris Rock wants to open up and talk to him just yet.
That too.
But
So I
bro,
feel
it's
like,
just like, man, it's a slap, man. It's
So Chris Rock hasn't really talked about it, but he spoke about it one time. He was at like a comedy show in Atlanta, and he was saying that everybody's trying to be a victim, and when everybody's trying to be a victim, then you can't see who the real victims are. And then he also joked and was just like, for people who say words hurt, they never been slapped in the face before.
yeah.
He called Will Smith Suge Smith, but then he also said that he wasn't ready to talk to Will yet, and when he is ready, he will be ready, and then he'll let him know.
Right, that's why, and Will knew that, so he didn't do it for Chris, he did it for the public.
And to that point that you just said, the public plays a very big part in the success of who Will Smith is.
Absolutely.
That's why he feels the need to address them. And also to the point that Chris Rock said, though, everybody feels like they're a victim, and you can see how this shit has affected the life of Will Smith. So he's kind of, even if we like, alright, it's still a lot of people that's like, nah. So he gotta address them, even when we know he don't want to, and we know he don't need to.
So
Man,
to your
Will's life
point,
was already
that's exactly
affected
why
fucking
he
with
did it.
Jada.
That's why.
Yeah, he got to compete with a deceased Tupac. He got his damn daughter writing notes to Tupac and shit.
That was crazy. That was
Come on now.
I understood why he did it, whether it's for his, public image. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why he did it.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope that now that he's done it, it was received well by some. Some people thought it was still inauthentic. I just hope Will can just move on.
We're going to see, man. I hope if, whenever Chris Rock decides to want to speak to him, I hope they just do it behind closed doors and don't do it.
Yeah, no red table. We don't need no healing, Jada, all that. We don't need all that.
Annoying as hell, but you know what? They're going to eat off of it, and I know it's going to be a red table discussion. I just know it. I just know it. We're going to have to, because the media, so we're going to have to cover it. We're going to have to, because it's going to be trending.
Yeah, why we gotta cover it? We just be like, he's talking to the devil table and keep it moving.
Right, because I don't know.
Shit.
I don't know. Jada got, I don't know what.
The media, we can choose what we want to cover.
You're right.
Right. We in the mix, okay?
Yeah.
Don't
We gotta be in the mix with that.
Not that. They can hash it out.
Yeah, keep it behind closed doors. Keep it behind closed doors. Moving on, man. So speaking of change, because I know how you always like to feel as though there are people out here who could change, right?
Yes.
Gucci
you
Man.
don't believe that?
Gucci Man depends.
Okay.
Gucci Man made a track,
Mm-hmm.
sending a message out to those who continue to diss the dead. Right. Well, now we all know that Gucci Man is very good for when it comes to diss records, mentioning the dead.
Being very disrespectful.
Very, very disrespectful. We all saw the verses when he mentioned Jeezy's dead homie, who he killed.
Yes.
All right. But it seems as though, maybe Gucci Man is trying to turn over a new leaf, right? As you get older in life, you realize that certain things, you don't have to do that anymore. For him, I know with him being a father and everything, that could also play a role.
Well, good for Gucci.
So, shout out to him because now I can't say for everyone can change or I can, condone the change.
All right, here's what I think with the change. That should have been a good round table, actually. Do I think people can change behaviorally? Yes. Do I think people can change personality? No. I think we are. And actually, fun fact.
So what if Mystical is just really a rapist?
I'm not saying he's not. What I'm saying is beyond Mystical, we as people, like, what intervention or what approaches do we take, if any? Like with R. Kelly, they probably did, but did they? And if so, what are they? That was really the question. It's not about these people not being what they are.
We're
But
gonna get to that.
I feel like, actually the brain starts to decline by age 25. So I feel like your personality, this is why we don't diagnose personality disorders. We don't bill out for it because you kind of are who you are. But behaviorally, can you change some traits? Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, we studied that in Streets
No,
University.
you did. Shut up. Don't lie to people.
That's all we got right here because she couldn't get in. So
But shout out to Jeezy. I mean,
How you thinking outside of the club?
and she just called him Jesus.
Right.
I'm not Jeezy. Shout out to Gucci for at least doing something
But
positive.
yeah, man, if you shout out to Gucci, you trying to really like spread a word out there because with these young rappers, it does get heavy in the streets when it comes to that, especially those who are deceased.
Dummies.
Yeah, getting crazy out here.
Young dummies.
So man, shout out to Gucci, really trying to make a change with certain things, man. Moving on, Khalees, fine ass, Khalees, that's a nice looking woman right there.
I could see why Nas married her. Just off of the look, just
like
everything.
she is gorgeous, naturally beautiful.
She is very naturally
Like she's
beautiful,
naturally
absolutely.
beautiful. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
She had a message. She had a
did.
message, not only for Pharrell, but also Beyonce.
And Chad.
And she didn't care about the Beehive if they had something to say. But there were also some folks who were really riding for Khalees as well.
A lot of people ride for
Yeah,
Khalees.
which is good. So shout out to her. But so Beyonce has sampled a track or a snippet of something
That's a very, very small part.
from
Khalees' first album.
Khalees' first album.
First album. A song that a lot of people was even confused on which of two songs it actually was.
To be honest with you, I really didn't know what the commotion was. I'm gonna be honest, I only know like 2 Khalees songs.
Khalees knows what the song is, so.
But yeah,
Let's go with that. Right. yeah,
I'm not
that's-
tripping. Khalees,
Right.
I love you for you, not for your music. But yeah, so
Her and Nas did get a divorce,
they did.
and she took half.
She opened.
So be careful.
And Nas is hurting for a minute.
Yeah.
He's made so much more money.
Yeah, of course he
Mhm.
did.
Hell
Shout
yeah.
out.
So no, he's not.
No, he was hurting for money. Now he's not. He's doing great.
But yeah, so yeah, she had a message and was just voicing what pretty much she said that she's been voicing over the years, especially with her gripe with Pharrell.
Yes.
So them sampling, even if it was just a snippet, it's just kind of like, why not reach out type of thing.
I understood her plight. I mean, I think she mentioned it. Yes, I know I don't own my master, I don't own my songs. You can sample. She said she didn't even care about it. She just like a professional courtesy woman
Definitely care.
to woman.
She cared a lot.
No, I mean cares, but because of how they went about it. Not so much it was just sample. Because she said, people sample all the time. It wasn't about just being sampled. It was the fact of like, hey, this is a song interested in sampling, just letting you know this is what's going to happen. Because you don't have to ask for permission, right? But just woman to woman, I would have reached out. She said we got mutual friends, we know each other, we met. Like you could have easily, like she said, the 20-year-old white girl did it. So come on, Beyonce, you could have did it too. I felt that on that. I feel like it would have cost nothing for Beyonce to do it. And it was reported that she took the sample off and took Khalees off the credits. So I guess and I feel like Beyonce did it because she doesn't like any negative press.
I don't know.
I don't think she did it because she felt like it was the right thing to do. I felt like because all of this chatter, Beyonce doesn't like that. She's very like, she's.
Nobody likes negative things about them.
Yeah,
I didn't see she took her off.
Yeah, they just reported that.
I don't think
Yeah.
I think she's still on there.
No, I'm sending it to you on the chat. I just seen it.
I was about to say what she did take off her track was.
No, she did
Spaz.
too. Yeah, let me show y'all.
So we can't say spaz now.
I mean, but it's a whole nother.
What the?
But I had to talk. It was something of a reason why they said that. But see.
Oh, so
I
she.
seen it. Yeah, she took off.
Oh.
Beyonce, that's how she is.
Yeah,
anything negative, she's.
Did you read that article?
No, it was 2 articles I seen. So it was that one and another one.
So the reason why I don't know if that is even
I
real.
just came.
The reason why I don't know if that is even real is because the Khalees credit was never on there because
No, they said it was on there.
it was never on there. She gave her when she was about to release the album and she was releasing like the song, the track listing and stuff like that. She put it on there, but that was all that she did. That was how because it was like a leak from before. Not the leak, but Beyonce was like.
See, right, not the one reported it.
Right.
You know,
I didn't read any of those albums, but for what I'm saying is, before the album came out, she was giving like credits to people that was getting like sampled, et cetera, on the album.
Mm-hmm.
But because Khalees doesn't own that, when you look at the actual song credits, Khalees wasn't on there because she can't be on there.
Well, it's sad that she did scrub Khalees' name off the credits from this report. So
I mean, Khalees,
I don't know.
To the point of what I'm saying is, there was no need for Khalees to ever be on there because she doesn't own the song. So that's why, like literally, when the album came out on Friday, I was confused at what was going on because when I looked at the credits for the song, there was no Khalees on there anywhere. That's why everybody was just like, what you just wanted her to just say, hey, I use this. And everybody was like, she did that when before the album came out, and she put her name up there and she sampled it on the song.
No, I want you to personally reach out to me.
I mean, I guess.
That's what she was saying. Reach out.
And that's like a personal right, because I feel like that's like.
And I don't think
Beyonce don't gotta do that. Beyonce don't know you like that. Beyonce, you're not cool with her like that. She's not cool with you like that. She literally doesn't have to.
Professional courtesy.
I mean, I
She
guess.
said it didn't have to be her either. It could have been somebody from her.
Or even that,
I don't
somebody. And she felt like because it was petty that they did it because she felt like Pharrell did this stuff on purpose.
Then be mad at Pharrell because Pharrell owns the shit. She contacted the people she needed to contact so that she could use it how she used it. If you want her to just call you and say, hey, I'm using this, I mean, that's one of them things you just take up with yourself. Because if Beyonce don't want to do that, or if she don't feel like she needs to do that,
I mean, no, she has rights to her feelings. She can voice it whether we agree with it or not. I don't feel like she was wrong. And see, that's another thing. People look at her wrong and right all the time.
That's because Khalees. Did you see all that Khalees was saying? Like she kind of went in.
She's entitled to that, so.
That was like
that was like
a 10-minute video.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for all you did because she didn't call you and say,
yo,
hey,
you can't tell people how they can feel. Let people feel how they feel.
I don't care
so she can verbalize how she feels.
Much,
I mean, that's your opinion, but like I feel like I don't see she was wrong in doing that.
She did too much.
If
it wasn't that big of a deal, if you're not getting paid for it, you just did all of that because of a phone call for somebody you don't even know like that.
We can't tell somebody that it's not a big
deal. Listen to what I just said.
But you're just saying
you don't know. Listen to what I just said.
What?
You don't know Beyonce like that. How you trying to say she don't know Beyonce?
I don't think that's what she was saying.
Then what was she saying?
She just felt like just a professional courtesy. If you're using a sample from my song, just reach out.
But for what she did, she don't gotta do all of that though. Like you just want her to do it, so you go and make this long ass
she doesn't. Nobody said she
send all of this big wild ass shit. But apparently, Khalees is saying that's what she should have done.
She would have.
And you make a 10-minute fucking video talking crazy about all of that. Come on, bro.
I feel like she's entitled to how she feels. She would have liked to have done. She wasn't. Beyonce didn't have to, and she knew that she didn't have to do it. But she would have liked to have done it, and she had the feelings about it.
Why make this long ass fucking video talking crazy about Beyonce?
Because she can.
I don't think she was even. Yeah, she wasn't talking crazy about her.
Go back and watch it.
It was more Pharrell.
Yeah, and Chad. She said she talked crazy about Chad.
She came at Beyonce talking about women's empowerment and all that type of shit.
She just felt like, you saying like you
acting like Beyonce
empowerment, but you ain't really standing on that.
And that's what I'm saying. When you do that type of shit, you acting like she's being vindictive by not doing some shit she didn't have to do.
Because she feel like you've been too seasoned, you've been in the game long enough, you got the strength to do it.
And to that same point, again, like you said, Beyonce didn't have to do it, then that's what it is. You want to say all of that because she did some shit she didn't have to do, and she still gave you credit for it. She just didn't call you.
So people can't stand like you getting paid.
But she gave her the credit for it. She told people before the song came out that part. First of all, did you hear the part of the song?
I didn't listen to it.
So no.
No. But what me listen to it? What does that mean?
Because if you listen to it,
police has a feelings on it.
Because if you listen to it, it's like 3 seconds.
What?
Ain't no so what.
Ain't no so what. And
again,
why you didn't listen to Beyonce's album?
I didn't get a chance to.
See, you be praying on Drake's downfall. That's what I realized. Because when you was up texting us at 12:01 when the album dropped.
To be fair,
I'm more a Drake fan,
so I would rather listen to Drake than Beyonce. To be honest, somebody says I don't like Drake, but I was more excited to listen to Drake fan.
Somebody says you never say anything nice about Drake.
But even if it was a half a second, Khalees didn't like it, so I'm not gonna speak from my perspective.
If somebody make a long ass video talking crazy because of a half a second, you can kiss my entire ass, bro.
I mean that's
but you know what?
You was tweaking.
We can dive into that off the air.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to Nicki because she was in the news. but it's not good news, right?
Yeah.
So apparently her former
Assistant
assistant
that she fired.
Early
this year.
You know, went on a Twitter rant.
Twitter, Instagram.
Instagram, yeah, you name it. Yeah, just going in, spilling all the business about Nicki Minaj, who she been fucking, you know.
On the IRS.
Yeah,
she
the
got
IRS.
like just crazy, like bad relations with like certain artists.
Yeah, and how Drake really doesn't have COVID.
He probably really don't have COVID.
He probably really don't. But because of this stuff that's going on right now, is probably the reason why the Young Money reunion isn't happening.
I don't want to be a part of it.
Who knows, man? Who knows? But of course, you know, Nicki, she got out there and, you know, she made a video and pretty much said, you know, if you're out there believing any of this, you have to be dumb.
Okay.
And you gonna let her talk to you like that?
I don't give a shit. I ain't about it.
Because you believed it, right?
I stand. The only thing I may not believe, the only thing that she did talk about is the IRS. $173 million. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I don't know if she
That
can
is a lot.
get past that from the IRS, but
everything else?
she had a lot of details.
Oh, so you
Rapping a lot of names.
So you believe she had sex with Chris Brown?
I don't.
You said you believe everything. You said you believe.
I will say. I wouldn't.
You wouldn't what?
It could possibly be true. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it could possibly. That person had way too many details and people catching too many strays for this to not be all lies. All of this is lies. Nah. That's not all of that is not lies.
What you
think, C?
What you think, C?
Whoever this woman is or whoever this person is, like you saying, for a lot of the stuff that they saying and the detail that they saying, and also this person posted on their Instagram story, like screen recorded Nicki Minaj from Nicki Minaj's actual Instagram page, messaging them saying, "Take this down, come like where you at? We could talk. I'll fly you out so we can talk." All of that stuff. So clearly she's affected by this, rather than just being like, whoever this person is, don't nobody know who they are, they tweaking, whatever. And I will say this, the fact that over the last however many years, like we know Nicki was at the top and she hit like a big decline about a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff I don't even care to speak about because I don't give no fuck. The one thing that I did want to talk about is that I absolutely believe is that what the person was saying about all of the people that distanced themselves from her when she married this guy that she's married to because of the kind of person that he is.
Yeah.
For sure. That's entirely believable. And then, you know what I'm saying, the worst part about it is that how we've learned more about Nicki Minaj's personality over the last, 7-8 years or so, it makes everything that was being said believable, even more believable. So that just affects everything else because now it's just
it's not going to be believable to what's her
Barbs.
The Barbs. Yes.
I mean,
it's not believable to the
some
Barbs.
of the Barbs is under payroll. They've been under payroll, we know. But so
it's crazy how when minute like Nicki came on, they jumped on like Breakfast Club jumped on that, but they didn't really jump on the rumors when it came on. I think Nicki paying all these people. Everything looked too crazy, especially like you said, the screenshots and the text.
It was like a screen record.
And Nicki didn't really get. First of all, I wouldn't have trusted if it wasn't true. But a second, you see with the video, she ain't really talk about much. She just said y'all dumb in the interview. She said, yeah, if you hear something about me, believe it. She really didn't get into it at all, and she trying to play it like this dumb. I'm not gonna get into it, Nicki. It's okay. I mean, a lot, and some of the stuff I think is believable because we've heard already.
The Cardi B shit, the Megan Thee Stallion
the drugs, she admitted that. Yeah. She didn't admit about crack. She said coke. I don't think Nicki has ever admitted she did crack.
Yeah. That's why I was saying for some of the stuff I don't even care about it to be a thing. Like if whoever she's sleeping with and all of that, a lot of personal shit, super personal shit is like, okay. I mean that's really for the rumor mills, whatever. She slept with this, she did. Okay, cool. But for the people that's like, yo, you be acting like this towards these artists for these reasons, and the people that don't want to fuck with you because you married to this guy and this and like that kind of shit is the kind of stuff that's like, that's the real detrimental shit.
Right.
Saying you fuck Drake and you fuck.
Yeah, that's
We've been
like,
to some of that
yeah.
since 06.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But
alright.
But we know about that as far as her relations with with people. I told you in the chat, she too bottom line. That's why we can't really rock with Nikki. And Coco, you can translate that, see. I'm not Jamaican, brother. It was bottom line.
She bottom line. She know what for the bottom line tinks. Where your top bone?
Yeah, let's hear your Jamaican accent.
You can't just talk it like that. Gotta be like in certain. You can't just tell somebody just do it.
Where your top bone?
Yeah.
We gonna
let's hear yours.
What you think?
Let's hear yours.
You
We're gonna get trapped to pull up on.
Oh yeah. What you think?
Oh yeah.
I mean, what would matter like believe
I mean,
not,
this shit is very believable. Honestly, I just think that the Barbs need to understand that your Nicki Minaj is not.
They don't care.
All these crazed fans about these celebs that they have on a high pedestal, like you mentioned earlier, are insane. Okay, they are mentally. Something's mentally wrong with them. All right, something's wrong with Nicki. We've all said this. We've all known this, right? Yeah, she had her decline, and she wants to stay on top. But it's just like, it's new heat out here. And, I mean, you know?
I think her decline happened with the whole Sheeta.
I think it was
before that.
Before that. So
I felt like it was before. I'm not going to lie to you. I say this all the time, but I feel like I really haven't heard a solid Nicki verse since Monster.
I can't say that.
Oh.
Shit, baby. Let me brace myself. Yo. Throw that in the blooper reel. Let's round it back up. Round it back up.
Man.
She almost took me out with what I was gonna say.
Right, because you about to say, hell
no.
no.
Y'all know who did that, right? The Barbs just did. I don't know how they did it.
Nah, you want to defender. Because Monster's a long time ago, but it wants to come out.
No. I was gonna say that because because I mean I just know Nicki has dropped some fire. 2014, she went crazy. I mean, yeah, but still, even I mean, I heard a decent verse from her last.
Mind you, Sheeta was what 2018.
Yeah, I mean, like I just said, I heard a decent verse from Nicki last year when they released the Beam Me Up Scotty mixtape on streaming platforms, and she had like 3 or 4 extra songs. There was a couple joints in there. She had some decent verses.
I mean, the joint with her and Wayne, that I think like the first track.
But I feel like her singles haven't been good.
Yeah,
her singles have been garbage. Yeah. Nobody's not checking for this new album.
I mean, yeah, I don't know nothing about the new album, but I don't want to say.
Freaky Girl coming out.
But I will say though, for Nicki though, like you just said about her decline around the Sheeta, I think it was before then because Sheeta, what you said was the 2018.
Yeah,
Cardi dropped in 2017.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff that had to do with her decline was like inadvertent. For one, you know how the rap industry tries to pit the women against each other. Mm-hmm. I hate that part.
I hate that shit too.
But before then, you have people like Nicki Minaj that play into it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
her ego.
Kim said it before, like, you know, whatever. And then even when Remy was about to get out of jail, remember everybody was like, damn, like Remy finna come in, she finna be rapping like this and that. And then Nicki kind of felt some kind of way because she like, nigga, I'm the top dog, and that's why she would sneak this in Remy before Remy finally boiled over and said something. Yeah. Even when Cardi exploded onto the scene, Nicki felt some kind of way about that because you got another person that's doing some shit you ain't never, and that's why everybody looking at Nicki like, dog, like, come on, man.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So so not to say that Remy was the one that started her decline, but the stuff that the stuff that led to Remy even having to make Sheeta was the shit that started her, like the emergence of Cardi, people becoming more keen to some of these artists' personalities, and that being the reason why they're fans or not fans. And then you find out more about her personality. It was like, because remember, before it was gimmicks. You got the Barbies, that whole Barbie gimmick shit. People was cool with it. Then afterwards, it's like niggas is grown. Yeah, they not trying to be Barbies. Now we want to know who you are as a person. And then it's like we found out you was dating Safari, which. I know that shit Jamaican brother. I know that shit Jamaican brother. But people was looking at him like a lame. And then
at one point,
she left him and went to Meek. As soon as she left him with the Meek, back to back. So they was looking at him and they was looking at Nicki like, damn, that's what you into? It was just
Yeah.
went how it went.
She had horrible choices, with the exception of Nas, and we can't even count Nas. So I was like, damn, Nas. But now it's a publicity stunt, so I believe that.
Yeah, I believe that was a publicity stunt.
I do.
Nas got in, got out.
Right.
Facts.
Thank God.
OG classic.
Hell yeah. I couldn't see that for Nas anyway.
I couldn't see it for
They
Nas.
hated Esco. They hated Esco,
man. But
So Nicki just, I don't know.
Or
Yeah, I feel like she got.
People
She has a mean spirit. Just Nicki just not right. Like she gotta fix up herself. I don't know. She gotta clean up. She ain't it. I'm not feeling her spirit. She doesn't seem like a nice person.
it seems like sometimes when you have folks that always mention about like coming from the bottom and where they came from, once they reach like a certain level in their career and the amount of money that they make, it's kind of like they forget about where they came from, and it's just kind of like they look at you as though, like, because they're up here, they look at you like you're where they used to be sleeping at nighttime.
The problem is Nicki. We accept her decline. She won't, and her barbs won't accept that.
Yeah,
This is
they're
why
weird.
we have these answers. This
They're-
is why we have these answers
They're
that we
all
have.
delusional, just like the woman that they praise on a daily, who is married to a fucking pedophile.
And her
that,
brother.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't understand it. I don't understand that. You are Nicki Minaj. You
Because
was
she
one
herself
of
is
the
defending.
biggest
Yeah, he ain't doing
women
that. Well, he did something,
celebrities.
but that was a
No.
long
She
time
don't.
ago.
She don't care. She don't care.
Yeah, she don't care.
She don't care. That's what the fucking page says. She don't care at
Mhm.
all. And I'm just like, dog, how do you Nicki Minaj? You was one of the biggest female stars in the world. And that is
That
who you
really
ended
takes
up
in her image
marrying
too. Yeah.
and having a child. I don't understand.
And you know what the assistant said? She don't care about the LGBTQ plus community.
I can
But
believe that.
they are the.
But those are her, like,
yes,
The Barbies.
right.
the
They
number one
support her.
supporter.
That's all good though.
Number one supporter.
It's all
They
good.
don't care. She don't care about.
Because we know you care because you got on the shirt right now.
You representing.
You know what I'm saying?
Representing.
It's all good.
Man, listen. That's enough with entertainment, because we're going to dive into this roundtable mix question of the day
Right.
for you ladies and gentlemen, Mixxeners. I'll turn things over to you, girl, Leah, aka the therapist.
So, as we were talking about Mystical, the rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Help the bill.
So case the mic. All right. So I don't know all of his charges, right? But as we mentioned earlier, he has like, was it a first degree charge?
I'm not
This
sure.
one is, I think, so.
For rape,
Mhm.
which we know that Mystical has a history of this. From
Mhm.
what we know, is this is the third time this has happened. He has served time for this. He's gotten out to just turn around to do the same thing
He served time twice.
twice. Thank you, Aaron. Twice.
And now third time's a charm.
It's crazy that it's even 3 times, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of what prompted this whole round table, because it's like, yes, to your point, is Mystical just a rapist for whatever psychologically is, causes that? Maybe. But my question is, to the people around him who probably are seeing these things, how do you intervene to help? Because it has to be other things. And this is not even somebody who's just a rapist, like somebody with addiction or just some mental health issues, just anything. What do we do? Because I feel like as a community, we just tend to shy away from these like issues in general. We don't want to even acknowledge that somebody may have a problem. But then when they get in trouble or they're in incarceration, and there's no proper reform.
Mhm.
You go to jail, you do whatever, you do your time, you come home. This is why we're seeing the repeated offenses. So it's like, what do we do as a community to help? I feel like it has to be a step in between
Yeah.
the here and here, right?
Um,
Because we personally, K6, we personally know, NOC, we personally know people who probably not wrapped too tight
yeah.
and can use some help. But we don't.
Probably. Certainly. Not right.
You got
Yeah.
a friend that's not wrapped too tight, and I'm not gonna put him out there, but we all know why he not wrapped too tight.
We
But-
can get you one of those, bro.
If he ain't know, if he listening, he knows exactly who he is now. He had to do that to him. But anyway, so to say, what do we do?
But who's to say? All right, who's to say that he wasn't receiving that? Like, I mean, you gotta think. He's good friends with Master P.
Yeah.
Master P
Is
has
he still good friends with him?
Right.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I don't
That's a
see
good
any
question.
type
But
of,
at the time, you know, when they were friends, I mean, Master P, he has an abundance of resources,
Sure.
right? I'm sure when he heard about it, probably really tried to help him out. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he ignored it, right? Maybe there were people around him who probably tried to help him. But you also got to look at the person too. So it's like, maybe he didn't want to
and
help.
we're not even talking about just Mystical. Mystical just prompted this question, right?
Yeah.
We talk about the R. Kelly. We talked about the Deshaun Watsons. We just anybody, just anybody. Like we talked about the young lady in the chat who left her baby home for 6 days and she died. And like, but mind
She's
you,
a burn in hell.
But and to the conversation we had in the chat, they mentioned a key point that stuck out to me. It's like this happened 6 times, and no one says, "Hey, maybe you're really not fit. You're being neglectful. At some point, we need to take the child out the home."
But we probably like again, and this happened in the UK, so we really don't understand.
No, but I'm
the
just
laws.
saying, like
They probably don't.
things like happen like that here, where it's been it's signs and things that happens that we see, and we just don't do anything.
But maybe they're.
Call it the bystander.
But I think there are some people that actually try to do what they can to help this person. But it's just like, I can't help you if you don't want the help that we know you need. There are some people out here who don't want any type of help. They probably, for Mystical, he probably sees nothing wrong with what he's doing. You want to know why? Because I can't even say because of his stature, because it's not like he's made any hits. We're in 2022. Only time you know or hear about Mystical is when he's out here raping people, right? But of who he was back in the day. Yeah, like seriously.
See, wanted to laugh and I did too.
Like it sounds crazy for real.
It does sound
But
crazy.
it's just like when you, for him, it's probably like, you know who I am. Like I used to be part of No Limit type of thing.
We don't even know him that now.
Yeah, like you don't fuck, bro. You're a rapist.
He is a rapist.
Like
absolutely.
you're a rapist.
Yes.
This is what you like. For him, this is probably pleasurable for him.
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. There's some psychology behind all that.
Man, listen.
Well, you know.
Ted Bundy ain't want no help. You couldn't help him.
Are we just saying that? We don't really. I mean.
Man, listen.
No, niggas ain't know what Ted was out here doing.
I mean, he's also a psychopath, so I mean, I don't
He
know
was wilding.
You know, no, literally, like clinically, he was a psychopath. Like, if you go on the DSM, he will be.
Like he was wilding.
Some people, I'm not saying some people you can help. I'm just saying for a lot of times we hear that we don't. Just like R. Kelly. Come on, it's just been nothing. Like we're just going to let all this just fly for all of these years. Like
Man, his ex-wife too. That she knew what the fuck was going on.
A lot of people knew what's going on.
She was just in the crib trying to act like she ain't know what was going on. Man, listen. Again, some people. Now I understand that, like, now for R. Kelly, you know, he talked about like, you know, what happened to him growing up when he was younger and everything. I think he even talked about like tongue kissing his mom or something.
I don't know, but I know he was like in his older sister.
Yeah, his older sister. My fault. That was Jim Jones talking about practicing kissing his mom. My fault. But yeah, so a lot of stuff was happening to R. Kelly when he was growing up.
That's why I do have a bit of empathy.
But he felt like
that.
because that was happening to him, he felt like it was okay. But I felt as though if he was around folks who knew that wasn't okay and was telling him like, "Yo, this is not okay," for him, that was probably okay for him. Like, hey, it happened to me, so it's okay in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. He was,
they understand the wrong. They understand the wrong.
The Gayle King interview was just very in denial, as if like this is not even happening type of thing, which we clearly know it was.
But for some people, it's just like you said, they have an addiction or they just. And there are people out here who have a fetish with shit. Like there are people who enjoy certain things. Like there are people who like having sex with younger people. And when I say younger people, like young kids, that is a fetish for them. Nothing gets them off more than being a pedophile. That's just what you are.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying people aren't what they are. I was also saying, what do we do to help?
I don't think there's really I don't think you can help that.
I mean, but that's okay. The people you can help addicts. I mean, they are addicts, no, but you can certainly intervene to help.
I mean, yeah, but again, it's certain people that want the help.
Yeah, I mean,
Then
I know it starts with that.
Yeah, then there are some who just don't want the help.
But I also think, and especially I would think in the industry, that people, particularly in the industry, they're just ignoring.
In the industry, they all funk, they fake, they don't give up, they don't care. They'll sit there and act like they know you, like how, you know, Khalees tried to say she know Beyonce and everything.
She
There are
said
folks-
they met. Don't do police like that. They met and had mutual friends. That's what she said.
Nah, she said they know. She said they know. Like,
No, she did not. No, she didn't. I can run it back. She said we've met and we have mutual friends. Is what she said.
she said, you know me.
I mean, if you met somebody, you don't know them, but you've exchanged pleasantries. But anyway.
But
But
yeah.
see, what's your take on that? Like, what do you think for those? Like I said, and again, it's just in personal. Cause like I said, I know we know people.
So, I don't entirely believe that people are just inherently evil and they just meant to just do fucked up shit. That's just how they are.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there are things that are like in their conscience or whatever the case might be that evolve into these things that end up being horrible acts.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes certain things that happen can play a part into furthering that. Like I was just looking up Mystical's case from 2004 when he first got arrested for the thing, and it was saying that the first victim was a woman that he and like his bodyguards, they pretty much threatened to turn the woman in to the police for cashing $80,000 worth of checks of theirs if she didn't perform oral sex on all of them, which is like, you know, rape. But then even when they sentenced him, the judge was pretty much like, this MF thinks that he's above the law or whatever. The other case was from like 2017. It got thrown out in 2020 because it was insufficient evidence. And then now this just happened too. And again, it's false imprisonment. It's not just rape. It's like 4 other charges with it.
Yeah, it's 4
So
other charges too.
clearly we see that it's some kind of pattern where it's not even just like a thing where he might not actually think he's doing something wrong. It's like you actually forcing people into stuff. Like you wow.
Yeah.
And so to the point though before, for people like Mystical and like Robert Kelly of the Sword, etc., I do think that there's a way to help them. And the reason why I said I like this topic is because one of my best friends, she's a psychologist at a prison, and this is like generally in her field, and we've had conversations before about it because part of her job is to understand people that like think along these types of like planes and stop them before they do something. And she says that like, you know, for one, it's a tough job to do, but also it's a part of the reason why she says it's a tough job to do is because people don't usually care until after the thing has already happened. So it's like if they know that somebody, the way that they think they might be prone to raping somebody or something like that, they might be like, and even the law kind of be like, well, until they actually do it, we can't do anything about it. So that's why her as a psychologist, she's trying to like, she has to like, you know, talk to the people and get in their heads to see what's making them have these thoughts, because like y'all both said, it's some people that think that this type of shit is okay. All types of big wild shit, they think that that shit is okay. And then it's like, you know, it's no issue with it. So she has to like figure out what the source is making them think that that thing is okay, and kind of like rewire it so that they can know that that's not okay, and then take away whatever's making them think to even do these types of things.
Right.
And it's a tough job to do, but obviously, you know what I'm saying, because she works at like a freaking prison. So it's people that's already in jail for either acting on these things or they've made attempts to act on it already. You know what I'm saying? So
what she assesses what we call psychology risk factors.
And so to that point of the risk factors with Mystical, because that's the example that we all use, of course you do, but
Just say that out loud.
But anywho, because of this is a bathroom break. If y'all didn't know, we gotta put you on blast or something.
Yeah, y'all put me on blast. I always have to go to the bathroom.
We know. But anywho,
This is Street University.
Yeah. Anywho, like I was just saying, the risk factors and stuff that people end up having to go through is that like sometimes you can't see because she was telling me like, you know, some of the people, it'll be people around him and closest to him, and they won't even know because these people aren't like crazy where they be doing certain type of shit out in the open, but they'll do it in a way where people close to them, they might not even know that they're doing it. And so as far as like even for Mystical, like I doubt if Master P even knew that he was doing this type of back, like holding people, making them talk about you gotta give me and my man's oral sex so we gonna
because you know
I don't
sometimes
think people he was doing shit
because sometimes like who you are around your friends, those closest to you, you might not be that way when they're not around. Like you might be a completely different person,
right?
When they're not around, like you could really be like, all right, cool. You know, I know I'm working under P right now, so I can't, you know, mess anything up or show him who I really am. But then when he's not around, it's just like you said in the song, I can't even put my dick in my hand.
Like that's
like
crazy. It's a crazy way to enter a record. That's a crazy ass way to hop on the track. You know what I'm saying? But and so like even when we talk about people like R. Kelly, the wildest part about it is that it doesn't always look as obvious as we think it does. So for like R. Kelly, like he kind of dated like women around the same age range for a long time. It wasn't until like he blew up as a star that even still, like for one we know it was people enabling that, but even still, like if he's dating people that's 15, 16, and he's in high school, then he's out of that age, it's not going to start to look crazy until he gets older and older and older, because now he's moving further and further away from a certain age group of women that you keep targeting to date and mess with and shit like that. Then it gets even crazier. But to that point, it's like somebody at some point for him would have had to have known that he went through what he went through as a kid and see signs of how that could be affecting him. And sometimes people don't see that shit and to even like help him, because there are ways to intervene with that. There are ways like people, you just not just inherently a rapist, like that's just what you probably do. But sometimes when it develops and it just escalates more and more and more, it's because it's people around you that either don't see it and so they're not doing nothing to intervene with it, and
or they scared
or
to speak up.
Yeah,
sometimes
you know, like really see some of these behaviors in your own home.
Or power thing. Mystical, this motherfucker, like I said, he was threatening the lady, like, you gotta give us all here that we're gonna tell the police you stole $80,000 from. And that's why the judge, like, you think you're above the law, like, what do you think you out here doing? Like, who do you think you are? And they like his ass. So that's why, so stuff like that, when you rich and you got some kind of fame where people know who you are just off just that alone, that can further, you know, these types of things too, worsen them.
So it's like, I agree. I feel like there's ways that you could certainly intervene. And yes, to your point, there are some people who just don't want to help. You can intervene and intervene. At that point, if that person's already made that choice.
Was one of the motherfuckers that didn't want to help.
Right. I do believe that there were some people who did just ignore him, but I also do think that there were people who intervened, because that was a span of how many years? You know, it was a long time, like 30 years. So I'm not inclined to believe
the age of the chicks that he was dating. The same age.
That he didn't get help, but it really just made me think about, can these like situations be avoided? Like I said, we so quick to judge it, and I get it. What they're doing is despicable, but
disgusting.
Can we get to the like before like preceding the event, you know, and the certain interventions that we can?
There's a way. It's that I think that's the complicated part though.
It is a complicated.
But then
I know that I work with no change.
Yeah,
you know?
But to that point though too, the fucked up part about it is that it's way easier to just lock them up after they've done it. But for the victims, they are victims. So if we can help them not have to suffer with having to deal with this kind of shit and the trauma that it can create for the rest of their lives, I think that's more important than just being like, hey, we know that this nigga did something wild and lock his ass up.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, there's no actually, I think there's been a surrounding topic with prison reform. Is there really prison reform? I mean, some people have, I personally don't think so. Reform? I think it's more so intrinsically, like people just feel like they come out and they don't want to repeat the same mistakes. But I don't think it's actual prison reform, like inside. You go in, they have all these, I mean, I could be wrong, but I actually want to look that up. I really want to see, is there like really prison reform?
Yeah, look that up. Bring something to the table. Like how, you know, HBCU, Chi-Town's finest Carlton did.
I put the round table to the table.
Former Mr. Morgan.
You heard me? I put the round table to the table.
It's not enough.
I am. She is.
Right.
What do you bring to the table, to the round table?
She is the table for the LCPG. C.
Don't
Not
disrespect
that.
my license. Okay, LCPC.
LBC. Like Snoop. Alright, cut.
But yeah, so I mean, do y'all know people personally? Do you feel like you can,
Know people personally that's like
that
not
not on
Right.
a
Hell
no,
no.
not
Hell
on
no.
physical,
Hell
not to
no.
those
Wouldn't even be in my
extremes.
circle if it was on
foot
that.
in their ass.
Right.
Be cool.
But
Real.
not that extreme, but just someone who you feel like got a bit of issues, and how have you stepped in to help? Because I do think there probably are some of our mixers out there who may have a friend, a colleague, family member,
Yeah.
who may be dealing with some things. We all go through things.
You just gotta like check in on them, talk to them, just let them know like, hey, we love you.
Yeah.
All it takes, because for real, like if somebody's going through something, all it really takes is just for you to check in on them, a simple way, what's going on, checking in, love you type of thing. Because you never really know what somebody's going through. It's not. It's a lot of people who go on in life without like having somebody actually check in on them, and seeing what's actually going on with them.
Yeah.
Like a simple phone, somebody can call you and be like, "Yo, your phone call really that really helped me. Thank you."
I think addiction is one of those things I think is a little more common for us, and some people may not recognize that they may have an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So how do y'all have experienced that?
Yeah, addiction. People I know, but
That you had to approach, maybe they didn't realize that they had a problem.
Oh yeah.
Or
Yeah.
didn't probably. We had, there is a thing called stages of change. Have you heard of
Most
that?
definitely.
Yeah, we definitely had to.
Yeah.
We had to experience that. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we're not
Yeah.
personal not to get into it, but okay.
To answer your question.
To answer my question.
Absolutely. And so one of the other parts to expound more on what Kid Six was saying, aside from just like checking up on them, because checking up on people, it helps a great deal, because sometimes people don't have a lot of people around them that care enough. Mm-hmm. The next step I would say after that too is education, because it's a lot of stuff that like just understanding people and stuff, and you gotta educate yourself to even be able to see certain signs to see if there's something wrong with somebody. Like in educating yourself, it might have been something that somebody could have seen from Mystical back in the day, that they would have thought that he was prone to do something crazy, even if they didn't think along the planes like it was gonna be rape, but they'd have like, he got something in him that can make him some kind of violent.
Make at least aggressive, or it's like,
That takes a special kind of care too, because like I said, for that kind of thing, sometimes people would want to stay away from it more than people that actually love him enough to try to help him change, would want to educate themselves and do things to help him. But to go to the other example you just used about like certain like addictions and stuff like that, I've definitely known people, and that was one of the things I had to do. I had to educate myself on like what that can look like, so that when I'm telling them to try to help them, I can be like, yo, you got to understand that it can look like this, it can look like that. When you're doing this, when you're doing that, you don't even peep, and then et cetera. And then it comes to the point where it's like, you gotta the reassurance, like, I actually care for you. Like I'm not just saying this, and I'm actually bringing you the proof, so that they can see certain things, and then maybe it can help them, because it's after that, it's steps. Because it's like I said, that showing that you love them and care them and stuff, aside from just telling them that, to educate yourself and help with the next steps of that kind of shit, it's like a thing, because sometimes people can't see past. And the one thing that I know about the human brain, about human beings period, is that the ability to rationalize is like the gift and the curse, because you can make anything sound like it's okay to yourself if you really
that's how the brain really works. So you can definitely psych yourself out to thinking like,
this is alright, this is cool.
I make sure to point
Next
out
thing
when
you
I'm
know.
seeing clients. I don't know if I did, but she was definitely rationalizing. I had to point that out. It's actually one of Freudian's and a Freud defense mechanism. Another thing that check it out.
Because who in the world, you gotta be able to point that kind of stuff out. The next thing you know, your ass gonna end up in danger.
Yeah, that's a really good way to end it.
Yeah. This was a good round table discussion.
So, but no, I will say this, like, for people who do know people who are going through something, I think it's important to, to talk to them. Like, I think it's important to, to talk to them. Like, I think it's important to, 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 don't ignore y'all. Check in.
Mm-hmm.
Check in.
Yeah.
There are risk factors and
Yep.
protective factors too that you got to be mindful of. And like you said, I think the big word you said, C, is care. Because when you care, you are attentive. You're just paying attention to things. I do think we can intervene before it gets to the point where it's like kind of no return. You know, because like with Mystical now, for example, it's kind of it for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I say, and I'm not even so much even saying just him being incarcerated again, just him. Just you were known as a rapist. That is not something you really want on you, right?
Hell no.
Like,
not at all.
Of all the things, being a pedophile and being a rapist, it won't be that either.
Mm-hmm.
Rapist. That's what I'm saying. It won't be that either.
Some of these pedophiles are racist rapists.
But you don't want to be a rapist. Like that is not something you want to have on you. So, but anything, you know, we just want to. Hopefully, we as a community cannot fail our brothers and sisters, and we can, you know, jump in before it's too late.
Facts. Man, listen, that was a good roundtable discussion right there. Provided y'all with a nice 96th episode. Again, we're now 4 episodes away from the 100th. We got something in store for y'all. Until next time, it's your big dog Kid 6, Chi-Town's finest, Carlton, your dig, and your girl Leah, aka the Pissy.
Safe.
The therapist.
Stay safe from monkeypox and
always facts
and polio.
Hell yeah, man. And always on things down behind the scenes. Your girl so effing classy, aka so effing crafty, aka so effing glassy. We out of here.
In the mix, Carlton, Leah.